And welcome to Beyond the Body, episode 3. Today we're going to be joined by Luigi, who will be sharing a bit about his journey with Atletica and how having structure helped him navigate his super busy schedule. Hey, Luigi! Hello! Hey!
Hi. How
How
are you?
are you? I'm good.
Doing well. Thanks for talking with me.
Of course, thank you for being here today. I'm so excited.
Of course. Mhm.
We both know that you're very ambitious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try.
Yes, you are. You're very ambitious, very disciplined. So we had this conversation when you first started. You didn't lack the discipline, right? Like you were showing up to the gym. You have a very heavy workload and you have a
Yes.
busy schedule. And you were like, I need to know what I need to do, when I need to do it, and
Yeah.
how I need to do it. Okay? If discipline wasn't the main issue for you, what do you feel was the missing piece before coaching?
Oh, other than discipline?
Yeah, well, because I feel like it wasn't really a problem for you. Like you
Yeah.
were already working out, you
hmm
know?
Yeah. So I think it was just kind of the technical knowledge needed to do the exercises and the workouts, knowledge of correct technique, and also another big thing was knowledge of nutrition, which is, I think, the biggest thing that I learned, I think, in this process was nutrition is probably even more important than
Yes.
like equally as important or even more
Yes.
important than working out. So I think that's
Yes.
I think my biggest challenge was my lack of knowledge of those things. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. I agree. So that's something that as I was like, preparing for this today, I was looking at, and it was funny because when you first started, you were like, it's not that I don't want to eat the foods that I'm supposed to eat. I just don't know when I should meal prep, like
Yeah.
what I should be doing, and like how significant the impact that nutrition had on your training was,
Yes.
right? So that being said, what did your routine look like in terms of nutrition and training before, and like how were you managing everything on your own?
So before I started with you, I was still tracking my food, which helped me, I think, initially lose a little bit of weight that I wanted to lose, which is great. But I think I wasn't as strict in terms of like hitting my macros. I think with you, you were always like, okay, like you gave me that little push that I needed, and you were like, okay, like protein was really good, but carbs could be higher. I wasn't like some most days I just wasn't hitting my macros, and then I didn't really, not that I didn't care, but it wasn't really urgent.
Mhm.
So I think I
Something
think
that made a
that's
big
what was it
difference.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tell me like, "Oh, I didn't have time to meal prep, so like I
hmm
came home and I just shoved down like all this protein. Like
Exactly.
I just wanted to hit my protein goal and I ate a bunch of protein." I'd be like, "Yeah, but Luigi, of course you're going to be tired." I was like, "You didn't eat any carbs." You know what I mean? And then
Yes.
you're like, "Oh, true." So then it was like, you mentioned in one of your check-ins, you're like, "I just need to have a plan so that I know what I need to prepare in advance so that it's
hmm
ready for me. So that when you come home, you're not rushing and shoving a bunch of food into your mouth so that you
Exactly.
can hit your goals, but you're like, okay, I know for a fact that when I go home, this is going to be there for me. Or like
Exactly.
Tyler's going to take care of it. Or like, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
that was one of you is going to make dinner, right?
Yes.
So
Mostly him.
that
But yes.
yes, yeah. I didn't want to say, you guys both helped each other out. That was definitely something that's a big deal. But having support, right? Having somebody supporting you as well in the
For
process,
sure.
not just your coaches, but also like the people around you. It makes a big difference with nutrition, right?
Yes.
Especially because it's a social thing, right? So having people to back you up helps when things are hectic. What's like the first thing to slip? Is it your consistency at the gym? Is it intensity? Is it nutrition?
hmm So I tend to, even if I'm really busy, I tend to always kind of find little pockets to go to the gym. I don't think that's really the problem for me.
Hmm.
I think it was really nutrition,
Yeah.
especially when because many days, as you know, I work, 13, 14, 15-hour days. So to have to eat consistently throughout the day when you're working and not at home. And I don't work from home almost ever. So to hit my nutrition goals every day consistently when I'm working that much, I think that's what really slipped for me and still does occasionally.
Yeah.
Just because it's extremely difficult to manage unless I really meal prep 2 or 3 meals a day every day, which is quite difficult and time consuming, which I try to do or we try to do, but it's not always possible. That's definitely the first thing that slips,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that I think that's where, we did a lot of work together, right? That's what you were saying. And it makes a big difference because it's not gonna be the same for everyone, right?
Mhm.
Like someone might come and be like, oh, when I'm really busy, like the first thing to go is like my training,
For sure. Yeah.
But the point is that you have to find a way to accommodate yourself,
Hmm.
right? And to make
Yes.
it easier for yourself. And that's what you did, honestly, an incredible job.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, you did an incredible job. You adapted. It's not like people need to understand that when you do the kind of like, I guess, coaching program that you did, it's not just, okay, my calories are going to be the same for this amount of time. It's like we were
Hmm.
changing your macros throughout like
Yeah.
the course of 6 months. You know what I mean? So we were literally like, okay, this month you're eating this much, in 8 weeks you're going to be eating this much. And
Hmm.
so that's something that people might think that is impossible to do, especially with a busy workload like yours or really big days like that. But as
Hmm.
long as you accommodate for your own routine and your lifestyle and the things that
Hmm.
you're doing, like it's possible, right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's not always perfect, right? But that's also something that we went over. It's not
Mhm.
about perfection, right? It's about
Yes.
consistency and like the
Yes.
more you repeat these things. So, what do you feel like changed just in general when you started following like structured training blocks? It could
Hmm.
be anything, right? Like when you started following training blocks, they were like, okay, this is my specific goal for
Hmm.
this.
Definitely changes in physique for sure. Pretty quick. I mean, we started with, I think cutting at first, and then we got into bulking, and then we got then the weights increased. So definitely changes in physique and muscle gain for sure. Um, Sorry, what else did you ask me?
And strength? No, it's fine.
Strength,
That's a
yes.
perfect answer. That's a perfect answer. It's like basically just like what I want to know is going from, you were already working out, you were training, you were tracking,
Yes.
but then going from that to having like specific training blocks with very specific goals. Like how did that make a difference in terms of maybe your understanding of the body and how it changes and
Hmm. Well, I definitely realized that what I was doing before was not efficient and not proper form and etc. So I definitely realized that what I was doing, the reason why I wasn't seeing results before was because I wasn't doing it properly, which is obviously very helpful. So I think it gave me a nudge in the right direction in terms of form and really realizing what's really important in that context as well, because if you it makes you learn that if you don't have proper form and you don't have proper technique and breaks between exercises, etc., which I wasn't following like I did during the training, you're not going to see results at least as quickly or if at all, which was the case for me. Yeah.
yeah, no, well, honestly, I have to say, don't completely discredit yourself. I saw your back muscles, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
At the beginning, you were still strong, but I saw a tremendous, and honestly, I was looking at your stats this week.
Hmm.
You're so strong. I was like,
Oh,
excuse me, what are these numbers, Luigi?
yeah.
No, for real. Like you're getting so much stronger and it's
Mhm.
so cool to see you just continually getting stronger and obviously understanding the technique, understanding just time under tension, proper movement,
Mhm.
different phases of training, different purposes for each training and like you said even rest periods between
Mhm.
exercises. That's something that people don't realize has a direct impact on
For sure.
muscle growth or strength. Now that you understand that you have this structure,
Hmm.
right? What would you recommend to people who don't know what to do, that are feeling stuck, that like what would you have said? What would you say to Luigi who started this journey?
Good question. Definitely. My honestly, my biggest piece of advice is to track what you eat. That's gonna. So again, my biggest piece of it, one of my bigger pieces of advice is food is just as important as working out because you can go to the gym all you want, but if you're not eating properly, then it'll kind of be for naught.
Mhm.
So definitely focus on food. try to watch what you're eating and just hit your macros and try to not eat junk and not drink as much. And definitely tracking my food definitely made a huge world of difference. And I noticed it right away too, right? Because I felt like I was always bloated before. I was always kind of sluggish. But when I started
Hmm.
tracking my food and started eating cleaner, your
Hmm.
whole demeanor changes and your whole kind of
Yes.
feeling changes. So that's,
Yes.
I think, my biggest piece of advice for
Okay, amazing.
day one, Luigi. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. And for anybody who's like scared to like get started or to do this, right? Because that could be a little intimidating, right? Like you
Hmm.
said, you want to track your food, you want to have like structure,
Hmm.
but for someone who has never done it before, right? Like we obviously started you guys like with food journals and analyzing your
Hmm.
food and taking things slow, but you were also so ready to
Hmm.
commit. You were like, okay, I don't care what I have to do, I'm gonna do it. So
Hmm.
you there were moments of struggle where you're just like,
Hmm.
what can I do for variety or what can I do for
Yes.
this? Or there were different things that we had to address. But what would you say to someone who's afraid of starting that?
Hmm. What I would say is it's very difficult at first, so I understand. It is very daunting because I remember when or at least rather when Tyler, because Tyler was the one that started first, and I was just like, I remember him telling me and showing me what the program was about, and I was just like, oh man, like that's a lot of work, and it is
Yeah,
like
it is.
tracking all your food and going to the gym consistently, and because honestly, it's quite overwhelming. So my first thing to say would be that I understand, but I'm telling you that it's going to be an amazing change in your life. I think that you're going to see results pretty quickly, which is why I think what a lot of people
Right?
like is to see results, right? I
Yeah.
think it's why a lot
You're
of people
like,
work out
you know?
to be healthy, but also to see results and to
Yeah.
look good, right?
Yeah.
I think just kind
Yeah.
of stick with it and you
Trust
know
the process.
trust the process. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having
Good job.
somebody and having somebody like you, Laura, that kind of lights the fire under your butt a little bit. You were never aggressive. You were never like, what do you do, getting mad at us. You never were judging us for choices that we made or for not reaching our macros or whatever. You were just kind of, gently pushing us in the right direction and being encouraging rather than judgmental. So
Thank
uh
you.
definitely having somebody like you makes it a lot
Thank
easier for
you,
sure.
thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that, honestly. And it's funny, having people like you makes my job easier.
Very
You know,
kind.
so
Yeah.
it's a mutual, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I think that's the thing. A lot of people are scared because it's going to be hard. And that's just the truth. We can't sugarcoat it, right?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
always hard at first.
Yes.
It's always going to be hard at first. It's never going to be just like, everything that's different and new and uncomfortable
Hmm.
is going to be, it's like a transition into understanding that there's a higher purpose to doing that, right? Like you
Yes.
said, it's like I was bloated before. I wasn't feeling good. I was
Mhm.
sluggish. I needed energy. Like I remember when you first carb loaded and you
Yeah.
were just like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. It was
felt
a lot.
so
Yeah.
strong."
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"I felt so strong during my
Yes.
workout." You know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
like, and then you're like, "Okay, that's why she's pushing me to do this." Like that
Hmm.
makes sense, right? So it's
Yes.
like once we start doing it, not only is it like you have to trust the process, because once you try it and it's uncomfortable, you see the results, you feel the results, then you have the evidence that you need to keep going. And then
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, it doesn't make it an easy thing, but it's a sacrifice that you're willing to make in order to feel the way that you feel,
For sure.
right?
Yes.
And yeah, and honestly, I loved like your whole journey. I loved seeing you like go through the different phases. It was a pleasure to coach you, Luigi. You are very rational, and it's really nice and refreshing to have somebody be so receptive
Hmm.
to feedback and to just be like to just follow the plan. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that's something that is extremely refreshing and really like gratifying for a coach.
For sure.
So thank you, honestly, for being such a badass.
Thank you, Laura.
And yeah. And the last thing I want to say, what is your opinion on people saying that they don't have time to take care of themselves?
Um, yeah, I mean, I used to be one of them. It's really difficult to manage your time, but to be honest, there's definitely sacrifices that need to be made, but there's always time to kind of better yourself, and there's always time where you can find to kind of fit in that workout or to fit in, that meal prep, and just kind of understanding that it's all for the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to kind of, you just have to reduce more unhealthy practices or more unhealthy things that you do, try to reduce it. And you need to realize that spending more time on yourself is good in the long run.
Yes, yay. I love it. Exactly. And that's it. And so thank you so much for being here today. This was awesome. I'm so
Thank you.
honored. And hopefully we'll have you again,
Yes,
in the future.
of course,
But
anytime.
yes, I'm sure a lot of people can relate, and I'm really excited to share this episode.
Thank you, Laura.
All right, thank you. Have a great night,
All right, you
Luigi.
too. Bye.
Bye.